This is what happens when guys become son husbands.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4 niggas in the bed. What they mad at me for?
Hello, TikTokers. For greater context, please go back and watch that video.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 niggas in the bed. What they mad at me for? I be on their head. If I want it, then he don't. I leave him on red. Put my Uchi down your throat. Nigga, give me head. When I walk.
And see two failures at work. Of course, the mother is a failure because she failed at preserving herself at 16 so that she could have a child within wedlock as opposed to outside of wedlock. But we also have a failure of the public educational system, because apparently this woman doesn't understand that if she's dependent upon her son, who is just shy of 18, she's still dependent upon a man. And even then, what completes the failure is the fact that this lady is so heavily dependent upon her son that instead of him taking the steps that he should be taking to solidify his own financial base in this world and prepare to enter his own life separate from his mother, all of those resources are tied up into her because she failed to find a significant other. And the only thing that she's doing now is inhibiting his ability to enter adulthood and develop a family unit of his own. The same way that she's dependent upon him should arguably be the same way that his wife would ultimately be dependent upon him. And hey, I get it. I know the mother in that video is not going to take this message most hospitably. Just like so many other of these ratchet ass sisters out here won't like this message. But you cannot deny that this is nothing more than just being exploitative of their own sons. They are obstructing, they are inhibiting their sons from taking their rightful places in society, and they are producing the emotionally unavailable, the financially unavailable fuckboys.
I was the other woman. It's safe to say that. The way I wish I could co-sign this. Wish I could co-sign this. That has not been my experience. Quick story time. I found myself partnered with a son husband. What's a son husband? It's exactly what it sounds like. A woman has a son, treats that son like her husband, and that son falls right in line. He steps up and performs the majority of the duties. Emotionally, financially, time-wise, energy and heart-wise, he is, for all intents and purposes, her husband. And I had a situation like that. I did not see it early enough where I took it seriously. But trust and believe I lived to regret it. She was very challenging, but the biggest challenge was him, because I knew that I could not say anything to him about how I was being mistreated. I knew that if I said anything to him about what I was experiencing, he would immediately protect her, take her side. I was the other woman. Lesson learned, and my best advice to you is to not ignore the signs and symptoms. This is beyond mama's boy. This is beyond a man who loves his mother. This is enmeshment, I learned through therapy. When the couples therapist, your therapist, and his therapist all say it's enmeshment, it's time to start doing some reading. So I'll drop a couple of books here that you can read about enmeshment, which is very closely connected, I have found, in my unfortunate need to do research on this. It's very much connected to narcissistic tendencies and characteristics. I'm not going to say that either of them necessarily had narcissistic personality disorder. I don't know that they were ever diagnosed, But baby, the characteristics were there. The tendencies were very present. And it's interesting how you see a connection between enmeshment in families and narcissistic characteristics. Anyway, I love you. Y'all be safe.
Just like you got a camera, I got my own too. Alright, whatever.
You little racist ass, bro. You a
That you
hater?
brought out a fucking strip club.
She wasn't no fucking stripper. She wasn't no stripper.
Move.
Don't
Move.
touch me.
I'm not gonna touch you.
Wait in the car. Wait.
I'm not, bro. Our stuff is here. I'm not though. My stuff is here and I'm getting my stuff. Get your ass in that motherfucking car. But I'm not though.
Whoa.
Get your ass
Whoa.
away. But I'm not though.
You go in your room.
Matter of fact, I'll call the police right now. Please go because my stuff is here.
We leaving. You ain't got to do all that. You don't.
What did I do to you? What did I do to you? I don't like you. What did I do to you? What did I do? You full of shit. You're a dirt asshole. And you're shit for my man, my son. You're mad? You're mad?
That we don't take into consideration of the baby boy effect, especially when we're dealing with mothers who have sons and were grooming their sons and raising their sons independently in the home before another male party was introduced. And a lot of times we don't talk about how women date their sons. And single mothers oftentimes do everything but fuck their sons. And they have that emotional stability that is built within the home. And that's the reason why I say, you know, a single mother is a fuckboy factory. And the reason why I say that is because it's not that a fuckboy can't be birthed from a two-parent home, although it is, you know, it's an abnormality, you know, it's an anomaly of sorts that you would encounter a significant amount of subpar men that have been raised in destructive two-parent homes. But single women become so emotionally dependent upon their children, specifically their sons, that they will convince themselves that they don't need a man until they encounter the space from being alone to genuinely being lonely. And now we're having to deal with the imbalance that was set in the household because this boy is not your son, he is your man. When you want to cuddle, you go lay down with them. When you want some emotional time, you go watch movies with them. You touch them and you rub them and you massage them. And you do these things, everything that you would do to a man to suffice that. A lot of women even dress their sons like the man that broke their heart.
This is tough.
Well,
but you are 100% right.
So I think that that's the dichotomy. Like, I'm not saying that your children shouldn't have weight in your relationship, but what I am saying that we have to look at it from an integral space. Like, why do they feel this way? Especially if you're dealing with a man-child who is uncomfortable with your new partner, and this man-child is not necessarily a little boy anymore. Like me, I have an adult son. I have a 21-year-old son.
This message is for all the boy moms who hate men or who have discerned men out of their lives. I just want you to know that it's not fair to your son to have to be the man in your life to take care of you. We know this, that so many women have sons who don't have a relationship with men, who hate men, or all this, that they put so much pressure on their boys to be there for them and to take care of them. And a lot of it is a lot of manipulation and guilt tripping into their sons to be the man in their lives. Because you've chosen to not create healthy relationships with men, to allow certain things from men, to not get the result from men, you have now put it on your son to be there for you. And in turn, it creates unhealthy relationships with him, for him with women in his life, because you are making him feel like you are the most important thing in his world. And if anyone comes before him, you know, he's a terrible child.